Hey guys, it's me, Isla, and I've got my brother here, Mr. Jared. We are going to play our first game of Old World. Pretty exciting. Um, so yeah, let's get into the army. So we're doing 1,000 points. Decided to play on a 4x4, just because the points and everything. So I've got, for my 1,000 points, 2 units of skeleton chariots with full command and war banners, 2 units of skeleton archers, both with 10 in them, and then 20 Tomb Guard with a Tomb Prince. He's got the Crook and Frail of Radiance and a shield. And then I have a level 2 Lich Priest on a Cloak of Dunes. So that's my 1k. For my spells, I rolled Spiritual Vortex and the Curse of Years. Didn't decide to swap for my signature spell because it's a combat area and I'm not going to put him in combat. Go over Jared's army and then we'll get into it. Okay, for Mr. Jared's army, he has a unit of River Trolls who bought some extra hand weapons. Unit of 20 Night Goblins who have netters, full command, spears and shields, and 3 fanatics. There's also a BSB with the big red banner for +1 weapon skill and +1 combat res. Another unit of Night Goblins for with netters and spear shield and 3 fanatics. And then a Night Goblin War Boss who has Walloper's One Hit Wonder and Trollhide Trousers. Got a level 2 Shaman there with no magic items. And then a big old Giant. So very cool, very excited. Got plenty of fanatics, got plenty of goblins, and got plenty of monsters. So yeah, we're going to get into it and we'll come back to you. Okay, so my deployment from left to right: Chariot, Skeleton Archers, Tomb Guard block with the Tomb Prince, Lich Priest, and Skeleton Archers, and Chariots. So nice and symmetrical, how I like it. Double redundancy, beautiful. And then Jared did a nice cool weighting of the flanks. So he put the Trolls and the Ogres, the Giant together. And then his Generals there, and his BSB is there. With his Shaman down the back there, ready to cast some spells. So we rolled off. Jared rolled a 6 and he finished deploying first, so he ended up getting the +1. So he got a 7 and I rolled a 4. So Jared is going to be having the first turn, which is quite nice. All right, we'll be back after Jared's turn 1. Okay, so in Jared's strategy phase, he ended up failing a leadership test with his stupid trolls, even though the leader was nearby. And they failed, so they had to move up straight ahead 6 inches, which is their movement. So he just sort of kept in line with his Giant, decided not to march up this turn, not to get within charge range or too close to the charge range of the Chariots, and marched up here. Also in his strategy phase, he cast Evil Sun Shining, so units within the command range of this Shaman, to be these 2 Night Goblin units, will get +1 weapon skill, and I think there was a couple extra things, armor piercing. And then these guys marched up as well, so that's what the battle line looks like at the end of turn 1. Okay, so in my turn I did my will be done, give my skeletons plus D3 movement, and I passed, and I only got 1 extra move, so they did a couple wheels and got to there. My Tomb Guard. Then in the shooting phase, I tried to cast the Spiritual Vortex, which failed. I was going to cast it up there and try and hopefully give them all -1 leadership, etc. And I need an 11, and I rolled a 5 with my +2, which only got a 7, which is unfortunately not enough to go. Shooting. These 2 units here shot into the Night Goblins, killing 2. And then these 2 units here, the Chariots and the Skeleton Archers, shot into those Night Goblins, killing 1. So that's what the field looks like, end of turn 1. So, Jared ended up failing his stupidity again, and trundling forward 6 inches with the Trolls. So he just moved accordingly. He's moved 5 inches up there, which has got him within 10 inches of my Tomb Guard block, which is quite tasty for some fanatics, potentially, in the compulsory moves on my turn, which he's allowed to do, which is insane. And then the same thing here, he's within 10 inches of my Chariots and Skeleton Archers, and yeah, holding well. Cast Bad Moon Shining again, and yeah, that's the table, end of Jared's turn 2. looking pretty good. He's coming right for us. He's coming right for us. And the Tomb Kings have got the shotguns and they're like, whew. All right. So in my turn, I went and cast Curse of Years on the Giant. So he's -1 movement, strength, and toughness, which is cool. And then I wheeled here. I failed to cast my Vortex. I needed a 9, got 11, got way less than an 11. And then I did my shots. So I did Chariots and Archers onto the Trolls. I caused a wound, and then he ended up passing his regen save, which is pretty handy. And then over here, everything shot into there, killed 4 Goblins, but because there are 18 in the unit, I only killed 4. It wasn't greater than 25%, so there was no panic required. So that's pretty cool for the Goblins. And then we're going into Jared's next turn. So it's probably going to be a big turn. I reckon some combats are going to go off, especially if he passes his leadership test with the Trolls. That'd be awesome. Okay, yeah, we'll come back next turn. Okay, for Jared's turn, he failed to cast a Bad Moon Rising on the Shaman. He's moved everything up. Failed again with the River Trolls, unfortunately. Been rolling pretty high on those dice. So yeah, he just sort of moved up. Got these guys back here. So we sort of set it up if I won't be able to charge into them. If I charge, I'm going to probably hit the flank of the River Trolls. I'll check that, but it looks like it. And then he'll be able to shoot his Fanatics through my Tomb Guard. And then on this side, some Fanatics got shot off. So this guy didn't quite make it through the unit. These two did. They rolled 2d6 to see how many hits they do. 4 hits, and they took a Chariot down to 1 wound remaining. And yeah, that is the end of Jared's turn 3. Over to my turn 3. Okay, I just wanted to do a quick video now before we fight our combats. I didn't have any shooting this turn, but I ended up doing a big miscast with this guy, casting Curse of Years. And then I rolled an 11 for my miscast result. So basically it was just power drain. I ended up casting it with a perfect invocation and couldn't cast any more spells this turn. So I flew over here because we want to start influencing, hopefully bring back some Chariots, because Mr. Jared, he fled. So when you flee from a charge, it's basically a fallback in good order. So he ran away and then automatically rallied over here because he's not below 50% with that unit just yet. Chariots went through, failed their charge, so they moved the failed charge distance, and then they copped another hit from the Fanatic, who rolled a 4, and he blew up the Chariot that was on 1 wound, and then did 2 more wounds to this Chariot here, so he's also on 1 wound. So, yeah, blowing up some stuff. I'm a bit worried about moving him over here because of all the shenanigans with the Fanatics, but yeah, we'll see how we go. I know I'm going to cop some Fanatics in the side over here, which is going to be painful, but yeah, very entertaining and exciting when the Fanatics come out, so we're having good fun with that. And yeah, did get the Curse of Years off on the Giant, so hopefully I should be in an alright spot to do some damage to him with the Chariots charging. Alright, we'll do combat and we'll show you what happened. Okay, so my turn, my combat, I ended up doing 3 wounds to the Giant, and I did 1 from impact hits and the rest were from the combat. Giant did a belly flop, and he basically, when you do the belly flop, you put the template over, and because my bases are so large, he only got 3 and had to roll a hit, so he rolled 2 hits and managed to cause 2 wounds, but I passed on my regen. He did his stomp as well, and he rolled a 1. He got +1 because Behemoth. So he ended up rolling 2 stomps and doing no wounds, unfortunately. 1 wound, and then I think I regened it. Sorry, yeah, that's right. Then over here, I won my combat with the Trolls. I ended up killing 1. And, my apologies. Jared rolled under a 6, so they fall back in good order. So they actually need to reform. I forgot to do that now, but... Yep, so they fell back in good order, so they fell back there. And instead of following up, I decided to pass a leadership test and reform and face the Goblins there. And obviously the Giant lost his combat, but he's unbreakable. So he just ended up staying there, and he's going to have another whack at the Chariots next round. So yeah, looking pretty good for the Goblins, actually. The combat wasn't that bad, and like with the fallback in good order, it just helps so much, especially with the smaller leadership armies, like the leadership armies rallying and stuff like that. It's actually really cool. Gives them a bit more sustainability, and allows them to play the game for longer, I think, and it's actually awesome. I'm actually really happy with it, and yeah, we will continue on. Okay, so we're doing a quick video before the midway point of the turn. We just wanted to, actually we're still in the strategy phase. We just wanted to let you know about Fanatics, our Lord and Savior Fanatics. Holy dooly! So these guys loosed their Fanatics. They had to stop 1 inch away, so they couldn't get all the full 3 inches forward. But that's okay, because they rolled massive on their distance. All 3 went through the unit. Then we ended up having this guy stop early, but then these 2 ended up rolling enough, 9 high, which is just enough for them to get through the archer unit. So they went through the archer unit, they killed 7 archers, and then all 3 of them between themselves also killed 7 Tomb Guard as well. So that's 14 models in one. Absolutely obliterated them. Luckily I don't panic, but if I was panicking, I'd be rolling for some panics right now. They'd be rolling at -1 because they're over 50% casualties, and they'd be rolling normal panic check. Then this goblin here, he ended up going through the archers, this randomized, so but he rolled a 1 and failed to wound, rolling a 1 to wound. And then this guy, he actually went forward 3 towards the chariots. This guy rolled enough to get off the table, but I had a look at the Fanatic rolls. It doesn't look like they die if they go off the table, and I don't think you can actually voluntarily or even move off the table compulsory. So I'm going to have to look into that more, but for now, we're just saying he stopped at the table edge and he's going to keep walling around. So, yeah. Fanatics, how you feel, Jared? That was pretty cool, hey? We had so much fun. We were just laughing the whole time rolling those dice. All right. And then you still got the rest of your stuff to do. We still haven't even rolled stupidity on the trolls yet. That was just releasing the Fanatics. So, yeah. We'll go to the releasing the Fanatics. And we've done the releasing the Fanatics now. We had a laugh. And, yeah, we'll get into the rest of the turn. Okay, so in Jared's remaining turn, he ended up charging into the Tomb Guard there, passed his fear test and everything, got in. And then he lost 4 to combat. He did a challenge. He used his Wallop as 1-hit wonder. He only did 1 hit because weapon skill 5 against my weapon skill 5s. He needed 4s. And then he did a wound, and I passed my regen, saved my Tomb Prince on a 5+, luckily for me. He also ended up doing another belly flop on the chariots, doing nothing. My chariot's now being reduced to strength 3 because of the charge. And obviously the giant having his toughness 6 back because of the spell being gone. Oh no, the spell was still on because it's until my next phase. But anyway, so it doesn't matter. Didn't matter. I still needed 6s all around, so I rolled all the things together. Failed to do any wounds. And then the giant tried to pass a leadership on his leadership 10 to restrain. And what'd you roll, Jared? Do you remember?
11.
And then how far did he run?
10.
10. He ran 10 forward. Oh shit. Alright, looking bad for the Tomb Kings though. Hopefully we can bring it back next turn. Those Fanatics are out. We know his game. I'll hopefully be able to bring some archers back and hopefully shoot at least 2 Fanatics off the field. But yeah, we'll see how we go. This will be Tomb Kings turn 4. Okay, so we did the combat. I ended up wiping out the unit here. I did 8 wounds. He then lost combat by 4. He was under 50%. And rolled his leadership, re-rolled twice, rolled an 11 both times, and fled 9 inches, and then I rolled 12 for my pursue. So I've overrun, and I've reformed the chariots after I've overrun to face the army. Alright. Cool. I believe your giant would have been able to reform after your overrun, Jared, so we'll just, we'll do that before your turn. I just remembered that, so... Alright, sorry, bear with us, we're still learning, but yeah. Alright, I'll reform your giant before your turn, and then you'll be able to potentially get a charge off as well. But yeah, cool. Got some points back that turn with the Tomb Kings, not looking so grim now. Okay, we'll be back after Jared's turn 5, getting close. Still only, remember, 6 turns in the game, so yeah, cool. Alright. So Jared did his Fanatics and stuff, and then he did his charges. So when he did his Fanatics, everything just sort of moved around. This guy came dangerously close to the terrain. This guy popped through my unit. And then the trolls ended up walking through him when they did their with their when they did their stupidity because they failed, and then they had to pop through, and then he popped out the other side. So the trolls took 2 wounds, and he didn't. Jared failed to do any wounds to me because I passed my regen save, and he only rolled one hit. So good, not good, because I'm still double flank charged here. I'm getting spit roasted on this side, so see how we go. I think Jared's gonna potentially get this unit this turn. That'll be a good chunk of my points. But yeah, definitely Jared's winning the game at the moment, which is insanely fun. So cool. Alright, we're back to me. Okie dokie. Well, Mr. Jared absolutely annihilated that unit. He killed 9 Tomb Guards, 7 were with stomp attacks. There was a challenge. The Tomb Prince and the Goblin fought each other. But yeah, he killed 9, and then I took 12 combat res crumble, which meant the last 5 died, and then Tomb Prince had to take 6, but he had the resilience, so he only had to take 5, but then it doesn't matter because he does have 5 wounds. So they failed their leadership test, had to overrun, stop winning the trolls, and then he passed his leadership test and reformed to face my Necromancer next turn. Things are looking bad. We're going to turns 5 for the Tomb Kings. And then after that, it's one more turn and game over. That was a huge chunk of my points. Because the Chariot's only 150, plus they've been 170, and then the 2 units of Skeletons are only worth 50 each. And then he's worth just over 100. Anyway, we'll finish it up and get back to you. Okay, so in my turn 5, I didn't do a whole lot. Got a rise off with him when he was over there and got 3 archers back. And then I ended up failing the Curse of Youth, but I managed to get off the Spiritual Vortex. So that should hopefully help with the -1 leadership and all of that. And then moved my chariots up over here. They're full distance 8 and did a little bit of a pivot because of open order. But yeah, that's it. I shot with the archers into the goblins and managed to kill 1 off the back there. And that was it. So Orcs and Goblins turn 6, and then it'll be Tomb Kings turn 6, and we'll wrap it up, calculate our victory points, and do a bit of a post game. Alright. Okay, so Jared sees shiny moon and it going off. These guys wheeled. They failed their leadership, especially now with the -1 vortex around, and they went forward 6 straight ahead. There is a fanatic. This fanatic was back here. He went through the archers and killed 4. So he killed the 3 I brought back +1. And the giant made a longbow charge, rolling a 5, plus his movement of 6, and got in the archers. He was able to just scooch past the fanatic and before he did his wheel, and then he's gone into the archers and closed the gap there. So that's how that charge ended up. That's it. The fanatics all narrowly avoided death by crashing into terrain or each other. And this guy nearly ran through the trolls, but he was fine. Actually, no, it was the giant and the trolls. Yeah, so yep, that was all good. So we'll do the combat. We'll come back to you. Okay, so the giant ended up doing a pickup and I passed my 2nd initiative test. So I lost 1 guy to the pickup and then the giant stomped and did 2 more wounds and killed 2 more. I failed to do anything back with my attacks before he stomped, and then I lost by 4, so I lost the other 4. So I've got 2 left there, holding the giant up. And yeah, so that was Jared's last turn, and this is how the board looks. And I've got my last Tomb King turn. I'm hoping I can make a long bomb charge with the chariots and maybe just try and get rid of that unit and even up the points a little bit so it's not such a massive defeat. But it is looking like a awesome victory for Jared. Hopefully I can turn it into a Pyrrhic victory by killing his last infantry block. We'll see how we go. Okay, so I ended up getting a massive charge off with the skeleton chariots. They needed a 15, ended up getting a 17. I got in the flank, ended up routing them. They ended up fleeing and falling back in good order because luckily Jared had more than half of his unit there, and ended up getting I got quite a few kills and wiped him back. And then I tried to pursue. Jared rolled an 11 and I only got a 9, so he got back there. But he did land on top of his fanatic, and his fanatic blew up. He rolled 6 to see how many hits he got, and he killed every single one of them. So there's technically 6 more dead goblins on the field there. So that'll definitely be half points for that unit, luckily for me. But yeah, definitely absolutely wiped me. Like, jeez, like, that's all there is. And also, he did a pick-up end in the combat phase, and he picked up 3 and shoved them all in his pants, and then the last one passed his initiative test, and then Jared rolled a 7 for his stomp, and then rolled to wound all of them. So he got absolutely squashed. So he just got like, he's just picking up dudes, and then he like saw the last one there, he's like, huh? And he's like, I'm gonna squish that, and whoosh, just squished it. Absolutely fucking awesome game. Alright, we'll calculate points and we'll come back and we'll do a post-wrap. So just to quickly wrap it up, Jared ended up getting 857 points total. So he got 142 points for my leader, plus 100 points for killing the leader. He captured 2 standards for 50 points each, so 100 points. He got 172 for my chariot. He got 268 for my tomb guard. They were the 2 units with the standards that he captured. And 50 points for a block of archers. And then another 25 points for this half block of archers there. So 857. I got his BSB, plus 50 for killing the BSB. Got 192 for killing the unit that was with the BSB. I got 50 points for capturing that standard in combat. And then I got 192 points in half. So 98 points, I think it was. And I ended up getting it for that half unit there that I got, because technically there's 6 more left off, 6 more taken off there. So I ended up getting 493 victory points. So that'll be a major win to Jared with nearly double the amount of victory points I achieved. And yeah, holy dooly. Yeah, I think my man of the match was that chariot unit. Absolutely bonkers, so good. Jared, who do you like the best? Who did the best for you?
Either the Fanatics or the Giant.
Yeah, they were both pretty bonkers. They were so good. Yeah. Well, that turn that the Fanatics killed like 14 dudes was awesome, hey? Yeah. Who was the clown? Who was the wooden spoon of the match? Who was the idiots?
Oh, the trolls.
The river trolls, for sure. I think you definitely want someone with higher leadership around them. Or like at least keep them in range of the BSB too, or whatever. But yeah, no, definitely they definitely need some high leadership support. And with leadership 6 goblin war bosses, that's not going to happen, I don't think. So, yeah. What do you reckon?
I think the shaman racked up the caves because I was trying to open a little bit. So I was trying to...
Yeah, you did a good job of avoiding, too, with the shaman, moving them around and stuff. It's just hard because now you've got to, like, wheel characters unless they count as, like, skirmishers and stuff like that. So I was, like, struggling with my guy because I was, like, when he was casting spells, I didn't have him in line of sight to dispel anything. I was struggling where to put him, but yeah. I did end up getting my Arise a couple times, but like not to an amount where it actually really affected the game. I think a second Lich Priest, or even putting him on a bigger base like the Dragon or a Chariot or something, is valid. It's a valid way to run him as well. But yeah, I like the idea of having a little Annoyance Priest. So I'm going to keep him in the army, but I might end up looking at trying to get a second one in somewhere to help out. But yeah, no, definitely. And that turn, the Giant killed the Chariots and wiped them, and oh, bloody hell, what a game. Yeah, it was awesome. Cool. All right, well, there you go. I ended up losing to Jared, which is great, because holy dooly, Orcs and Goblins are great. Anything else, Jared, or?
No, not really.
Cool.
If you like what you see, subscribe.
Yeah, nice. Good job. Good plug. Yep, sweet. And also we're gonna we've got a Gap Games affiliate link coming as well. So if you guys want, you can follow that to support us. We get a little bit of a kickback on commission, and that'll help us put some more money into the channel and get some better lighting and get some better cameras, and audio equipment is what we're looking at. And yeah, validate us as well. So all right, thanks a lot, guys. See you in the next one. Okay, so in my turn, I didn't cast any magic in my cast, so I just moved him over here to fuck with shit. And then decided to charge. So I charged these guys into those goblins. They failed their fear test, so they ran. And they obviously rally, they fall back in good order, and they couldn't go far enough because they bumped into the terrain. I decided to redirect my charge into the river trolls and failed my charge in the river trolls. So they moved up their move. Even though I did use my will be done to get D3 extra movement and got 2 extra inches movement, I rolled a double 1 for my charge, which just fucked everything up. And then in my shooting, I tried to shoot that fanatic off, didn't do anything. Tried to shoot the other fanatic that was here off, and I killed him. And then these chariots made a long bomb charge. They were just out by 2, but then I added my swift stride. Just gave them another 5 inches to smash into the goblins there. So we'll go into combat, which is only 1, and try and get some points back this turn, hopefully. But we'll see how we go.